He had made a earlier comment that had garnered controversy. A set of comments he's now made on Twitter seem to be furthering that controversy. We'll play out what those comments are for you. The BJP has also responded on those comments. We'll play out each of those sets of comments for you. Now, what has Randeep Singh Surjewala tweeted out? First, he said that these people want to kill issues by grabbing words. This government constantly wants to hide its failures behind emotional issues. Who does not love the people? He is not a ruler, he is an asura. This is all what Randeep Surjewala has said. He said, the one who doesn't love the farmers, labourers, able or youth, emotion and sentiment and dialogue are more important than words, which only a sensitive person can understand. This is what he had to say. Remember, this is in reaction to what a BJP leader had to say on this, that this shows on a set of comments that Randeep Singh Surjewala had made earlier. He'd said that this shows how Gandhians are now insulting the public in India. So there's been that back and forth. My colleague Pallavi to join us this afternoon with context on this. Pallavi, we've just shared with our audiences what Randeep Singh Surjewala's response was, where it seems as if he's kind of stuck his feet in the ground. But context is required, Pallavi. Could you tell us what that series of back and forth comments were?
So basically he was speaking in Kethal, which was his constituency earlier, and he was talking in the context of several paper leak cases, and he's making the point that the large number of students who are losing out on their degrees only because of paper leak, which he is alleging is something which is in connivance with the state government and the state administration. So he said originally the bite which has gone into a lot of controversy is that those who voted for people who don't have any regard for the students are actually like Rakshas. And therefore, this has created a storm, really, Toya, where the BJP has started asking this question, that does the Congress party want to downplay the importance of voters because they are the ones who elect us? And therefore, this is the Congress mentality. I won't call it a clarification, but rather an explanation or an apology, definitely not from Randeep Surjewala, but an explanation in what context he said it. He said, I said it in the context of the several seed students and the paper leak case, and it's the state administration which must be held responsible. And if you are going to be supporting the state government and the state administration on this, then you're equally responsible, or you're like Rakshas yourself.
Okay. Pallavi, can I ask you to stay? We have the BJP response. We'll play that for our audiences, then we'll come back to you for more context. Okay, we have two different BJP reactions that we're going to share with you on this. BJP leader Gaurav Bhatia has said this shows how Ghamandiya is now insulting the public in India. He's also said this shows that the mindset of the Rakshas tendency in India resides within Ghamandiya. So he's essentially, obviously, connecting India and Ghaman together and calling the opposition Ghamandiya. He's also saying that it is to be understood that these things happen only under the directions of Rahul Gandhi. So you have one BJP leader connecting the comments that have been made by Randeep Singh Surjewala to Rahul Gandhi. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, also responding. We'll play out both reactions for you, then we'll connect again with Pallavi.
कांग्रेस नेता रणदीप सुरजेवाला जी का एक बयान आज सामने आया है। ये दिखाता है किस तरह से घमंडिया अब भारत की जो जनता है, और जनता ही जनार्दन होती है लोकतंत्र में, उसका भी अपमान कर रहा है। ये दुख की बात है कि रणदीप सुरजेवाला जी ने कहा है जो भारत के नागरिक भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए वोट करते हैं या समर्थन करते हैं, वो राक्षस प्रवृत्ति के, उनको राक्षस बुला देना स्वयं ये दिखाता है कि आज राक्षस प्रवृत्ति की सोच भारत में घमंडिया में ही है।
एक राक्षस प्रवृत्ति के परिवार में जन्मा ये व्यक्ति ही सोच सकता है कि इस प्रकार का अभद्र भाषा बोलना, ये मैं समझता हूँ असंसदीय भाषा है। निश्चित रूप से इसका हम संज्ञान लेंगे।
भारत माता की हत्या पर ताड़ी बजाने वाले, टेबल थपथपाने वाले, विदेश में जाकर कहने वाले कि लोकतंत्र की हत्या हो गई, जब कोर्ट उनके खिलाफ आदेश दे दे तो उनके नेता कहते हैं कि आप गांधी परिवार के खिलाफ कैसे आप कोई बयान दे सकते हैं, गांधी परिवार के खिलाफ कैसे आप कोई फैसला दे सकते हैं। तो दिखता है कैसा डीएनए है, ये परिवारवाद का डीएनए है जो फूट फूट कर निकल रहा है, और दिखता है कि वह किसी प्रकार का भी विरोध नहीं सहन कर सकते। आज उनको दिख रहा है कि एक सैलाब है बड़ा जो कि उनके खिलाफ खड़ा है, वो जितने बार ऐसी बातें करते हैं, कभी रावण की भाषा उपयोग करना, कभी राक्षस की भाषा उपयोग करना, जनता इसके विरोध में खड़ी है।
Okay, let's go back to my colleague Pallavi now for a little more context here. Pallavi, can you just tell our audiences, the original comment Randeep Surjewala made that you pointed to, essentially at a rally, he said that the BJP are Rakshas. He also said that those who vote for them are also Rakshas. Now, I want to understand from you, Pallavi, can you just tell our audiences, have comments like this happened in the past too? Not from the Congress, but from the BJP, from other parties too? Is there precedence to any party comparing the voters of another party to something like a Rakshas in the past?
Well, not really, but there have been instances where political parties have, either made fun of voters. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember at one point of time, another Congress leader himself had questioned that whether the voters were intelligent enough to even vote for the right people. There have been parties like the TMC and others who often raise this question. But in politics, I guess, Toya, these kind of comments have now become, unfortunately, a new normal. And we are going to hear more and more of this. I wouldn't be surprised if you get to hear more and more of this. There is an explanation by Randeep Surjewala that he was not trying to insult the voters, but he's making the point that those voters who actually defend and will vote the same administration or same party back to power in Haryana will actually be like Rakshas, because that means they have scant regard for the future of so many children.
Right, Pallavi, if we take a look at his comment that he's put out on Twitter, he's doubling down specifically on the part where he's talked about the Prime Minister. Earlier, he, in his comment, obviously talked about the BJP. Now he's doubling down on the comment on the Prime Minister. Pallavi, if you could also tell us, is it fair? The BJP is looking at this as a self-goal. Is that the right way to look at this?
Well, I mean, not for me to give an opinion on that, but I think the Congress party understands also in private that these kind of comments, while they feel it may not be entirely misplaced, does actually boomerang on them often, because I'm sure the BJP and more specifically the Prime Minister at some point of time during his campaign is going to use it to hit out the Congress party. They will see this and rather read it out to be the narrative of a party which smells defeat, and therefore what do? Every time the opposition parties run down the EVM machines, they start questioning the election commission or electoral process. That's the typical response which comes in from the BJP, is that they are smelling defeat and very conveniently dismissing the EVM off. And I'm sure these comments by Randeep Surjewala will again be used specifically by the Prime Minister and by other BJP leaders, that whenever you feel you're going to lose elections, you start blaming everyone else. You blame the EVM machines, you blame the voters, but you don't look within.
Pallavi, could you tell us, how do you see the Congress possibly defending themselves? Because we've seen what the BJP has to say. They're saying you're insulting the public. How is the Congress possibly going to defend themselves here?
They are going to be kind of openly defend itself, at the sense they could just give an explanation which has been left to Randeep Surjewala himself since he made that comment. And in his comment, in his second tweet, comes the explanation or the clarification that what he was essentially talking about is the future of all those children who, because of the paper leak, they are not going to get their degrees, and this should be the priority. The Congress has often accused the BJP whenever they've raised these kind of points of changing the goalposts or trying to change the narrative and actually divert attention from the core issue. In this case, it happens to be the future of the many children in Haryana. As Randeep Surjewala himself pointed out, getting jobs is a secondary thing. At the first point of time, you even get the degree. That's not possible with the paper leak.
इनको इस प्रकार से कहना ये अच्छी मानसिकता है, और इनको अपनी किसी अच्छे आई सर्जन से आँख ठीक करानी चाहिए। अगर कोई ना हो तो मैं बता सकता हूँ एक दो के नाम जो इनको ठीक कर सकते हैं। तो इसके पिताजी क्या करते हैं।
We saw that response coming in from the Haryana Home Minister. That was Anil Vij. Let me just check if my colleague Pallavi is still with us right now. We'll wait to understand if she's still with us. We'll also continue to give you context on this entire story. Randeep Surjewala was at a rally when he made this set of comments, and the comments that he made were coming in the context of the paper leaks that the state of Haryana has seen. These are paper leaks that have had to do with exams in which people are usually sitting for jobs. That's why Randeep Surjewala made those comments. This was at, as we just told you, a Jan Akrosh rally that was taking place in Haryana on Sunday. Take a look, more reactions that have come in to the same story.
ऐसा है, कुछ लोगों ने देखिए कौन क्या कह रहा है, उनकी मजबूरी है, ठीक है। वो एक ऐसी पार्टी को बिलोंग करते हैं जिनका भारत के स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में काफी कंट्रीब्यूशन रहा है, पर उसके बाद दे आर गोइंग फ्रॉम लॉसेस इनटू इररिलेवेंस।